All right, well, hola, everyone. Profesor Cañedo here with you, and this is going to be this will actually be one of the shorter nuts and bolts videos for for the session. This week we're coming up on the period of the 1930s and the Great Depression, and the film that I have for you this week is a film that A&E put out way back in the early 1990s. Actually, 1990 actually is when the series that came out. So long before A&E started getting into some of these more wacky shows like Duck Dynasty or, or Moose Dynasty or whatever that crazy show is. A crazy crazy wacky hillbillies. They did of course have a lot of documentary programs, a lot of stuff on of course on U.S. history, politics, a lot of World War II stuff. I know. When I first started watching A&E back in the early 1990s, they definitely had a lot of World War II stuff. So it seemed like every night they would have stuff on Hitler, Mussolini, Eisenhower, FDR, and all the usual people with World War II. But during that time, they had a great series on called the Class of the 20th Century, and I want you to watch one of the installments of that, which focuses in on the 1930s. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. And to find that, we want to go to the databases from the Southwestern Library. So I've already got a tab for you queued up here. So just click the SWC Library databases link right here in Blackboard, and here's what you're going to what you're going to get. Let me just scroll it back up to the top here, since I was already working with the with this website earlier. So here's the database list, and we want to go to the Films on Demand database. So what you want to do is scroll roughly about halfway down the page here. So let's get past all of this stuff for general topics, news, health, arts, history, and humanities. We want to get through all of this here. So we get to the section where it has the all databases section, everything from A to Z. Well, W, I guess W is the last of the databases. Nothing here at the Southwestern Library begins with X, Y, or Z. So we want films on demand, so we can go down in two ways. Just keep scrolling down until we get to the F section, or let's make it easier. Let's go ahead and click the F link right here, and here's what we get. So we've got three different databases with that begin with the letter F, and the one we want is films on demand. So if you're on an on-campus computer, once you click this, it'll take you directly right into the database. But if you're an off-campus computer, it'll take you to the sign-in section. That is where you type in your SWC information, your ID number, and your password. So if you've got an off-campus computer, you're going to do that step. But once you do that step, then it'll take you to this page here. So let's go ahead and click this right here. All right, and here we go. Here's the opening page, the opening section to the Films on Demand database. So again, the series we want is called Class of the 20th Century. So right here in our search box, all we need to do is type in Class of the 20th Century, and and before we actually begin our search, it'll give us a pop-up window, and it'll give us all the programs, all the series, all the programs, all the episodes from that series, everything from the that is in the 1970s and starting here with the 1930s. So 1930s is the one we want. So all we need to do is we don't have to do this step. Just click A&E Class from the Class of the 20th Century, 1930 to 1939. And here we go. Here's the program. So it's about a 45-minute program. Definitely go ahead and check it out. Check it out anytime during the week. And, uh, and thankfully you do have access to a show transcript. So here are the various segments. There, the program is broken down into 13 segments, so you can watch it by segment. But of course, I want you to watch the entire program. So these things the easiest thing to do is just go ahead and click the play button, and I'll get that going in just a bit. But first, let me go ahead and just open up the transcript so you can read along with the read along read along with the transcript as the film is playing. So let me go ahead and play about a minute of it for you, and then I'll wrap up this video.
I'm Richard Dreyfuss. Welcome to the class of the 20th century, 1930 to 1939.
Okay. And features many of the celebrities who were still popular up through the 1990s. Uh, some of them you may recognize, some of them you don't, because many of them have, of course, passed away in the last within the last 25 years.
Class of the 20th century. 100 Americans who've joined together to place in a time capsule for the people of the year 3000 and for you, our most important memories. This is not history. This is how we felt about our century, as kids, as young men and women, and as adults.
Okay, I'll go ahead and pause right there. So that's a veteran actor, Richard Dreyfuss, of course, popular in many movies over the years. Jaws definitely comes to mind. So go ahead and watch the entire program. And of course, you can also increase it to a full screen right here by clicking these diagonal arrows. As you're watching the film, I think the best thing to do, of course, well, in addition to having the transcript, is take note of all the different actors, directors, and musicians, politicians that are mentioned during the course of the film, because there will be a few questions on the upcoming quiz, on quiz 4, which will ask you specifically about some of the people from the film. So definitely have an idea of what people like Dan Rather, the veteran newsman who used to be on CBS, have an idea of people like Dan Rather say. Also Neil Simon, the famous playwright, famous for the Odd Couple. And some of the politicians like Senator Moynihan of New York, Senator Inouye of Hawaii. So just have a running tally in terms of who was featured in the in the program, and what things he or she is talking about. Unfortunately, about the only drawback here is that as you're looking at the transcript, it doesn't indicate here who the speaker is. So that's about the only minor drawback that you have in watching it. But I think for the most part, everything here is fairly self-explanatory, easy to follow, and again, I think the main thing was I just wanted to give you a sense on how to actually access this, because I've had this film over the years, not just here, but for Mesa College, and I've had many people get confused in terms of how to actually find this program. So again, everybody, to track down this program, uh, click the database section. And then when you go to the database section, scroll all the way down to F, click films on demand, and then when you get into the search area, make sure you type in class of the 20th century, and then click the link for the program 1930 to 1939. And that's it, everybody. That's all I really need to say at this point in time. I hope you guys enjoyed the film, and I'll see you guys again real soon. We're coming up on the 4th week of the session, so we're definitely getting close to the we are at the halfway point, and before you know it, it'll be time to start wrapping up the class. So time is getting away from us, everybody. And I hope you guys are liking the class so far as we approach the halfway point. Okay, that's it from here. That's it for El Profesor, and I'll talk to you guys again very soon.